In this mini-series, we're going to go over how to install door casing, baseboard, and window stools, and how to caulk everything and make it look professional so you can save money on your own installation. Time for the door casing. In this case, we're going to have casing on the side, and we're going to have a slightly thicker header piece across the top that hangs out a little bit further, like these markings here. First thing to consider is the height of everything, which in this case, our floor is rather screwy. It goes up and down a lot, so we got to actually individually cut every single one of these. None of them are going to be the same height. But in a perfect world, you would gap it up off the ground about 1/2 of an inch, and like if it was a carpeted room, you can tuck the carpet under, and it looks just fine. But we can't do that here. Before you even begin your measurements, consider the fact that usually there's about 1/8 of an inch that they gap it from the inside of the door jamb. So by the time you get to the header piece at the top, you're going to be 1/4 inch wider because 1/8 of an inch on each side. So consider that. So each of your measurements are actually going to be cut 1/8 of an inch longer. Some of these edges are either going to be messed up from the factory or messed up from shipping it. So take that into consideration. So cut that off and then make your measurement. When you're nailing them on, nail it this way as opposed to this way. Reason being, the nail wants to curve like up or down from where I'm holding the gun right now. It's because of the shape of the nail. So it's problematic if you do it this way because it'll curve out into the jamb some of the time, and then you have to pull it and fix it. If you're lucky, these transitions will have a nice consistent reveal on it. If you're not so lucky, it'll look like this, and it'll be a little twisted. So if that's the case, if you got a gap here, get a block, and then like a block of wood, and then pound it with a hammer so that this sits in more. Or put a block of wood against the drywall, then you can pry on it until it pries it up how you want it. And then you can shoot another nail. Now I think this reveal looks a little bit closer to what this one looks like, so we should be ready to go to the next one. If you're choosing to cut your door casing so it has a 45-degree angle right there, it's a good idea to use a little bit of wood glue there when you nail it all together, because this stuff will tend to move a little bit over time, and the MDF glues really well. If you're not using the 45-degree cut right here, then just run a bead of caulk around it when you caulk everything else. I didn't really show the process, but we plugged all these little nail holes with some drywall putty. That dramatically increases the effect when it's all done and painted and slick looking. That concludes this video on door casing. The next video is going to be on baseboard. I'm going to have a next video after that on these window stools. This one is a little more decorative, has another little piece there, and my house is still a wreck, so I'm probably going to fix that next. And I also have these window stools done, and I have a window trim, not the window trim, yeah, window trim, but video on this door stool, window stool. Why can't I talk?